mind. There we go. A very common question I get asked in Foxhole. A very common question that I get asked in Foxhole is, what does rank matter? Okay, what does rank do? All right, there is no in-game function for rank. There's something that there's clan ranks, and we'll get into that later. But essentially, it isn't that far off to say rank does nothing. Okay, it doesn't do anything by itself. But there's a lot of people that'll say it does nothing. Okay, there's a lot of people who say it does nothing, but I beg to disagree. I beg to disagree. Okay, in tandem with actual leadership ability, if your leadership ability matches your rank, then it's going to be great. But I mean, the thing is, right, is rank is cumulative. So every single command you get is going to move you forward. All right, every single delivery to a seaport is going to send you exponentially forward. Okay, exponentially forward. All right, and you just do that. What? You can do that 30 times in a day, 60 times, 50 times in a day, easy. That wouldn't be even that difficult to do. You in one day, I think you could probably at least reach staff sergeant. Okay, so you're gonna see a lot of people that have the rank and just don't use it. The thing is, and I personally believe that after being 7 years in the United States Army, that this rank system is actually better than the United States Army's ranking system. I believe so. Because ultimately what it does is it rewards players that know more. The more you know, the more you go up. And so ultimately, the better you are at Logi, the higher your rank goes. And I mean, that kind of has the downside of like, well, there's people that all they do is Logi. They don't know anything else. They don't know anything else. And that's all they did to get those commends. Do they deserve to be a warrant officer? Ask yourself that, right? It's kind of confusing if you're looking for leadership and this warrant officer right next to you is acting like a private because he doesn't know any better. Okay. But also, like when it's time to use rank, okay, when it's absolutely time to use rank is when you get to the base, you're spawning there, and there's more than 4 or 5 people spawning there at once. That means 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 people, probably 12, just died. Okay, so use your rank and get them to do something, because if you don't change their ways, they are going to continue going back to do the same thing they've been doing, which is bad. Okay, I guarantee if you see 12 privates and corporals spawning, they're doing everything wrong. And not only that, but they're affirming with the other privates and corporals that it's okay to do everything wrong because they see everyone doing everything wrong. And, you know, by this point in the war, there's probably some tanks or something. So all the veteran players are in the tanks doing at least okay, but then all the infantry surrounding them is doing everything wrong. They will just watch the tanks, right? They think the tanks are there to like win the day for them. And don't get me wrong, Collie Armor does that. Collie Armor does that pretty good. Okay. But the infantry could do it too. They could do it too if they just flanked. All they need to do is flank. But they'll be there with the tanks, right? And they won't even cover the tanks. So get them moving. Get them covering the armor. Get them to spread out. But most importantly, move them away from that spawning point. Take them to another spawning point so they can flank, because they won't know to. You need to use leadership. You need to use leadership because things go so bad. Okay, I'm calling on you, cadets. Cadets, this is your time to shine. Don't wait until you become a lieutenant before you start like telling people what to do, because they need to know. Okay, it's so easy to think that what everyone's doing is the right thing to do because you see so many people doing it. But this is herd mentality, all right? And what happens is these guys, when you give them orders, what they'll do is they will follow them to the letter and nothing else. No initiative, no forethought, no wisdom, no intelligence. they will follow you, watch you die, and then fall like fucking bowling ball pins. They won't fucking think for themselves. So you can't, just because they listen to you, you can't even think they're there because they're only halfway there. That's what leadership is realizing that this war is not against the fucking collies. I like the collies. You know why? Because they do their fucking jobs. Every time I see them, they try to shoot me or outsmart me or fuck me up. So I trust the collies because I can, those three things they're going to do every time. Okay. But my guys don't do that. My guys never, they almost do none of these things to the enemy. Shooting, like they're timid. They're just timid and afraid. Okay. And that's what you have to fight. The collie infantry, they're a little tougher. I will admit, they come in these hunter-killer groups, and it fucks us up. It's because our guys are scared. It's because the reason they're scared is because the collies come in these fucking hunter-killer groups. You cannot defend against that. It's tough. It's tough getting fucking ambushed and savaged at night. But you can do it to them. You can use tactics and cunning and strategy. You can make a plan. And you can fuck them up before they get you. That's the only way. If you're trying to just take one step back before they take one step over, like they've already won the war. And that's what leadership is. That's what rank is, okay? Easily, like, the easiest example of rank is if you ever see a general, they're there. You'll see them around every once in a while. I usually see one general a war, maybe one or two generals a war. And it's great. It's so great when they're around because everyone just, they don't even have to say anything. Everyone just like jumps in front of the bullets for the general. They'll just like surround the general. It's like a special ability that they have without actually having it. People just they'll just follow them because they're like, okay, well, if that guy got there, he probably knows what he's doing, and they do know what they're doing. And when they come and fight and kill me, it's terrible because it'll be me versus one general. And the thing is, right, is how they got there was a lot of killing. It was a lot of killing, okay? I don't even think you can become a general by yourself. I think there's only a couple of them. I think there's one field marshal, maybe, and I don't even know how far I don't know. I don't know. Okay, but look, his path to success was paved in blood completely. Every fucking step, every cobblestone, paved in blood, and it wasn't his blood. Okay? It was everyone else's, and that might sound bad, but it's like they're not going to do anything with their lives. They're going to lose their lives instead of spending them, okay? And here's the thing, right? I have no qualms spending the lives of privates and corporals. I have no fucking qualms because they're just going to lose their life. They're just going to lose it, okay? And here's the thing. Here's the problem with loss. Is in war, it's exponential. When you lose your life and you lose that flank, guess what? Another series of opportunities is opened up for the enemy, right? And they'll just see that and they'll do it. Okay. So that loss leads to more loss, and you can understand the downward spiral here, but there's also an upward spiral. Spinning a life, if you actually spin that life, you can make some headway. That's one more cobblestone in the path to victory, okay? And so that's what rank does. If you have leadership and initiative and rank, you can have a command. But if you don't have these things, don't try. Okay, if you're just trying to be like, hey, guy, like there's this one fucking like, I don't know what he was. I think he's just like, guys, we gotta go defend. We gotta go defend the salvage pile. I'm like, what? You want to defend salvage right now? He's like, oh, it's a comp pile. And I'm thinking like, we have comps in the rear, dude. We have so many comps. We have RMATs and comps up. What like, look, his priorities sucked, right? No leadership. His priorities sucked. His initiative sucked too. He's like, guy, can you? And he didn't even say what needed to happen. Okay, that's the thing. He didn't say what needed to happen. He said the wrong thing. And even if he said the right thing, it would have sucked, okay? No, look, and I'm telling you this, all right? Leadership isn't for everyone. You really can't learn this shit, and that's where initiative comes from. You can't fucking train. You can train leaders, but you can't make leaders. You can hone their skills, but leadership has to come from the heart, dude. And what I'm going to tell you is you can't, if you don't believe in the cause, it will fall on your underlings. If you do not believe in what you're doing, if you don't think it has a chance of success, if you don't know why you're fighting, they will lose interest. If they don't understand why they're doing it, they won't. And I get that. Look, in the Kali army, things are very regimented, and I imagine it's a lot like the United States Army. You know, it's got a real tough guy attitude. Oh, I'm a tough guy. No, you don't have to listen. No, you just have to understand me because I'm a big tough guy. But that's the thing, right? Is we don't have to do things like that. Like, what if instead of an army, you had an army of one-man armies? Like, wouldn't that be so much fucking better? Just fucking everyone knows what the plan is, and then you just unleash them. And so instead of ants and some stupid little fucking line, you get those African fucking army ants that go out in battalions and just destroy their hives and wildlife and take down tigers and all sorts of shit, you know? That's what you need, is many, many, many one-man armies. But that's kind of the problem, is it's hard to make a one-man army because it takes so much drive and skill and initiative. But I'm telling you this, I am a fucking one-man army. When those motherfuckers raid my truck or fight me or whatever, at least one of them's going down, probably two. Maybe I can get three. But they know. They know there's a price. And then they have to ask themselves, like, do I want to pay this price over here? Or maybe I'll go down the street where the price isn't so high. And that's really all you can do at the end of the day, is give them a price so bad it's not worth paying. And that's why, right? Is at the end of the day, you have to realize here is in this war, in this controlled chaos, right? It's all about prices and what you're willing to fucking pay. Make sure they don't want to pay anything. So as far as clans go, so here's the pros and cons of clans, okay? The pro, I mean, is like, you know, you probably want to be in a massive operation. I so far in Foxhole, I've never even participated in a massive operation. I think I did like 2 or 3 times, but it was just by chance. It was just because like I was there, but no one was ever like, "Hey, Glutton, come join our band of merry men." And the reason why that is because we have collies on our side, you know, spying. And there's people that switch wars, and there's just like they want to keep it internal. That way, no one else knows it's going to happen. Because if the enemy knows, they will prepare. Okay. So, and then you also get some manner of logistical support. Like they have special little sections in the depots and stuff where they get to store their own stuff, and I can't get it until it goes public. But you know, at that point, anyone can get it, right? Not just me. So I can't get it unless I'm there right then. And you get all, you know, so there's resources, there's missions, there's friends. You always know that one of your friends is online. But you know, the reason I'll say clan man bad, okay? Like, first of all, like I just don't want to listen to him. I know what it's like to have to listen to idiots for fucking. Well, that's just basically what I've done most of my life. Just be quiet. Just be quiet, all right? Just be quiet, because they don't want to hear fucking anything. They just want to live in their own little idiot world. And you know, if I get paid money to let them live in their little idiot world, that's fine, okay? But just like, look, most people are idiots, okay? And this is no different in video games, all right? So if you're waiting for an idiot to make a decision, you become the idiot in that equation, all right? And so you just lower your initiative by like joining a clan will lower your initiative by several steps, just because like, well, you don't really know what the fuck to do. And this will make you slower in everything because you're waiting for some idiot to tell you what to do. And after a while, you probably realize he's an idiot, but you've been doing the same thing for so long that the repetition and the investment into the repetition is going to make you just want to stay longer. Just like people that watch The Walking Dead and anime and all that bullshit. They're like, well, I'm already on episode 287. Why not go for another 300? You know? So that's the clan kind of thing. And the real big downside, right, is they use Discord, and I don't like Discord. The entire time I've never had a great experience with it. Maybe I'm just like technology phobic, but I hate Discord. It's not user friendly, and it's just got this like really like Zoomer aesthetic that's like so like fake. Like it feels just like a charlatan service, I guess. It's cool, I guess, because there's no algorithms in Discord. It's one of the few systems that doesn't use algorithms. So you're not being lorded over by a computer or like an artificial intelligence. You're being lorded over by disgusting mods. So, anyways, but in these groups, what ends up happening is they get separated by their battlefield roles. So there's an infantry chat. Maybe there's a medic chat, or maybe they're just on the infantry chat. There's a logi chat. There's a tank chat. Okay. Um, and the reason why this isn't great is once you get in that chat, like, okay, that's your job. That's your job, right? And it's like, so I was in the logi chat, and that was just depressing because these logi guys, they're just the most boring people. I mean, already boring people kind of play this game, but the boringest bunch, and they just sit there, they're depressed, and they're kind of just like upset with their jobs. Like, oh well, someone's got to do it. But my point is, they all got kind of like locked. Okay, like look, the clan just threw them into this corner. They're like, just deliver us shit, and so like that's what they do. Is whenever they need shit, they go in the chat. They're like, hey, bring us shit, and that's it. And they get commends, but they're like not really a part of the clan. They're like a demi clan within the clan. Okay, but even then, right? Like there's this logi clan, and I'll fuck it. I'll just flat out say it. The 69th, all right, and it's like. Okay, so I'm at Great March. All right, I'm at Great March, and I'm here with I'm training people out in Great March. Okay, and the 69th sets up their HQ not too far from me, and I talk to them, and they're like, "Oh, we're a Logi clan." I'm like, "Oh, that's great." They're like, "Yeah, we can get you materials." I'm like, "All right," and so um, after like 30 minutes, I'm like, are you going to send us materials or what? And then, so some fucking officer. So if you're an officer in that clan, you can wear the officer's special little outfit. Okay. And so some guy, some fucking second lieutenant hops out. I'm a first lieutenant. He hops out. He's like, hey, we were going to bring you supplies, but it fucked up. And I'm thinking, like, you're a Logic clan. This is your whole thing. What is your purpose? And so the Great March looks terrible. Right now, there's probably at least 100 people on both sides killing each other with fucking bayonets and bombs and bullets and all sorts of shit, okay? There's fucking blood everywhere. And they were the first to go. Bye-bye, clannies. Bye-bye. All right. Meanwhile, I'm a one-man army. My little camp, my two camps have survived the entire battle, okay? Because I use this. I wear a fucking helmet for a reason. That way my fucking brains don't get blown out. All right. But they got their brains fucking blown out. They probably weren't even wearing their helmets. They were probably playing cards, joking around when reflection fell, and then they fucking got ran over and bulldozed into the ground. Okay. So the clannies did nothing. All right. And I can say that on this war, logistics on just in totality has gotten better, probably thanks to the clans. But I mean, the 69th just sucked. They made a funny name, and see, look, they made a funny name. Join the 69th, and that kind of like mentality just trickled all the way down. So I'm going to tell you this, all right? You end up getting involved with with that clan culture. But I will tell you this: if you're going to join a clan, Requiem is good. They're a big clan. They're a big clan. They're good. They do a lot of stuff. And there's also Chaos, and I really like the Chaos clan. Those guys are funny. The reason I left that clan is because those guys are just so much like me. All right, and it was like scary. Like I was tripping balls because like they were playing German marching music. They were talking about Warhammer. They were making like weird screechy noises. Like I started like a week-long fad where people started screeching at each other. They did all those things that I was doing. I almost thought they were federal agents trying to like like either freak me out or like become my friend, or so that's why I left. Like I was just paranoid because they were so like me. I've never been around so many people like me before that it just freaked me out. And I understand now why people get kind of freaked out around me, because that was just like so much. It's so like so quick. But they're a great clan, the Chaos Clan. Like I like them, and when they're doing things, it seems like they're smart. When they talk, they say smart things. So if you're going to join a clan, join Chaos. Now I think they might switch between factions, between wars. Um, that might be their only fault. But besides that, I think the Chaos Clan they're pretty solid fellas. I like them. I like every one of them I ran into. It doesn't seem like they just let anyone in. And they have a penchant for violence. I think some of them could learn armor a little bit better and they could have a little more patience. But besides that, I mean that's really the only flaw with them. But speaking of factions, okay, so you have two factions in this game. No more, no less. And honestly, it should always be like that. A third faction would just be disastrous. Um, and a lot of what I say about the collies is conjecture. But I guess I'll start out with them, okay? The collies, they embody a combined arms doctrine, which is terrifying. I don't know if they know this. If they even, I don't know if they plan this or if this is just something they do automatically. I hope it's the first one, not the second one. I don't know which one's scarier. But first, you're gonna get hit for hours with fucking artillery, all right? It's fucking terrifying. It's so fucking terrifying, okay? It doesn't end. The shelling never stops. The shelling never stops until everything's fucking dead, okay? All you can do at this point is just try to slow it down, all right? You have to sit in those bunkers that are being shelled with the fucking hammer and try to fucking hit all the nails back into the fucking wall as the fucking wall falls apart in front of you, okay? So this is for hours, okay? This is not minutes. This is for hours, and this is days of hours, okay? That happens across fronts. So that's the first stage, okay? Then there's their armor, and admittedly, I don't think their armor is that bad. There's certain things that seem really scary sometimes, and not really scary at others. In general, I'm not really too afraid of their armor, but when you try to kill them, they're supported with an elite corps of highly organized infantry. All right. And I guess what I mean by organized is they flank. I guess that's the difference between our infantry and their infantry is their infantry flanks. Our infantry is so fucking static. If the battle is like more than a 20-second walk away, they lose interest in the whole battle for the whole hex. If they can't figure out how to get there in 20 seconds or less, fuck no. Actually, 15 or 10 is a lot better, okay? But the collie infantry, they actually flank, and it's so annoying because they actually use squad tactics, okay? So it's infantry defending tanks that are attacking bases that are already blown to bits. There's probably just like they're basically mopping up at that point, or they've busted a hole in one side of the defenses, so now everything else comes through. Okay, and so that's basically it. They're lore wise and just gameplay wise, and their players, they're an innovation based kind of faction. They're more of a cutting edge kind of a faction, and this reflects on their players. They use illegal AI technology in the game. Okay, they have Skynet, which the collies agree to having, and the devs know the collies have it, and they've also got like workers, like AI workers, or they had AI workers, or maybe this is just a rumor. I've never been that far and I can't confirm or deny. I don't even know. And at the same time, maybe we have them because there's plenty of guys that are just out there, just fucking whacking hammers like robots, putting them in trucks, making deliveries. They never say a fucking word the whole war. So maybe that's false. Okay. But yeah, their strength is combined arms. The lore for them is basically like they are they're a coalition of several different governments that became like a one unified one, basically to stop the wardens from taking over. The wardens have had another name. We are more of a tradition based faction. Everything you see is kind of like a variation from the Great War or prior. Okay, so everything we have has just been like refined, or and eventually, sometimes we do come out with new stuff, and it's pretty cool. But for us, it's our strength is playing to our strengths and building on our strengths over and over again. At one point, the wardens really world hegemony, um, encompassed world hegemony, but unfortunately, the colonies made their coalition and shattered that. But during this hegemony, there was a figure called Callahan, and he led the Wardens to victory. He's kind of like a Napoleonic character mixed with another historical figure, I guess I would say, maybe Otto von Bismarck. I think Otto von Bismarck and Napoleon, if they were the same person. Um, and so right now the war is over Sayova, and Sayova is basically like a European Canada. If Canada was just all French, which I don't want to think about that honestly. There's probably a reason why the war is fair, because the colonials have the whole world except for Sayova, but it's just like it's a piece of ice. I doubt it has any long term mineral um, benefits besides destroying us, who is the Warden army. Okay, so why would you be interested in playing this? Okay, why is this why does all this matter? And that's because, look, most media entertainment nowadays is just slop. It is just slop. It's just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling until and then scrolling, and it just you don't learn. Like with games and shit, you don't learn. Like most games nowadays, like the ones made by the AAA studios, you don't learn. You don't learn anything. You have to play 3 hours a day to stay sharp, but you just don't learn. You don't learn anything. You're playing a first-person shooter, and yeah, I mean you've played first-person shooters for 20 years now, and it's oh, this one has a jetpack. Oh wow, you jump out of the battle bus on this one. Um, the thing with Call with wow, what a slip. What a slip. The thing with Foxhole is you're always learning. That's what the game is always learning. Okay. I'm not talking about like not just learning lessons overarching, because there's that. I did a lot of learning. Okay. Now I do a lot of teaching. But you want to learn from second to second when you're out there. Okay. Oh, you heard something? Well, you just learned there's probably something over there. You can forget about it and wait until you see it. But the first thing you're going to see is a fucking bullet in your dome. Okay? So you've got basically to learn what's around you, what's in your surroundings. Because if you just, oh, yeah, it's safe over there. I like over there because it's safe. They're going to shoot you and kill you. But also, like, in the moment, like, oh, why isn't my gun firing? Well, hopefully you can learn that you have to hit one, or hopefully you can learn that you have to reload it, or hopefully you have to learn that you can aim it. Like everything is learning. This game is a game about learning. Okay. If you shut your brain off, you won't get your $30 worth. I guarantee you won't get your $30 worth. All right. It'll just be another top-down shooter that you're like, wow, why does everything suck? And you're gonna think, wow, no, it couldn't be me. There's no way it could be me. All right, it's obviously the game.